Assalamualaikum, Shavi. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum.
How are you, Shavi?
I'm good.
I hope you're doing great and everything is going well. I think I hope you're doing good and everything is
Sorry?
I hope you are doing great and everything is going well.
Yeah.
Okay, so should we start our today's lecture?
Sorry, what was that?
Should we start our today's lecture?
Yeah.
Is my voice is clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so let me share my screen with you. Okay, so let me inform you a thing is that whenever the section will end, you can rejoin, okay? Because you know that Zoom allows us to just meet for 40 minutes, all right?
Yeah, alright.
So whenever its end, you can just rejoin by tapping on the same link which I shared with you.
Oh, alright, okay.
Okay, so let's start our lectures. Let me share my screen. Today is our second lecture. So is my screen sharing with you?
Yes.
Okay, so have you did which I gave you in last lecture, your homework? Have you did?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so you can share with me by making a PDF and you should have to share it, that with me. So I will check that, okay?
Alright.
Have you solved
I
all
didn't
the
read it.
questions?
Yeah, I did do all the questions.
So is there any problem with that?
Um, I don't think there was any problem, but I'm just not too sure on two of the questions.
Okay, so you can just uh, contact with me and let me first share the PDF. I will check. Then, if you have any problem, I will share with you. Okay.
Uh, I have the answers on the homework on my phone right now. I don't have them on a PDF, so because I didn't really have time to do it on piece of paper, so I just quickly wrote the answers on my phone.
Okay.
But
So you haven't write it on paper.
no, but I know I can write it on paper and then I can share it. I can get my mum to share it with you.
Okay. So yes,
But
you can share with me. Okay, later,
yeah,
maybe tomorrow or whenever
yeah,
you feel free. Okay.
okay,
Okay. So let's start our today's lecture. Our today's lecture is about we have to discuss about velocity and acceleration. Okay.
yeah,
So, what are the table of contents for today's lecture? The table of contents is will discuss about what is the velocity, and in velocity we will discuss the direction of speed. We already discussed about speed in previous lecture. Now we are going up. Now we will discuss about the velocity, and then we will discuss about acceleration, how fast your bodies move, basically those described by a factor of science which is so called as the acceleration. So we will discuss acceleration in detail, and then we have some work examples for velocity and as well as for accelerations, and we have then real life applications where we use velocity and where we use acceleration in our daily life. And we have a mini quiz for you, and at last we have a homework assessment. All right.
hmm
Okay. So here are basically the learning objectives. We will understand the concept of velocity, and we will describe how velocity is different from speed. We already discussed about speed. What is speed? If a body is in motion, so we can say they acquire speed. But in today's lecture, we will discuss about what is the main difference between speed and velocity. Okay, and the next thing we will describe, basically learn the meaning of acceleration. How fast your bodies move, basically described by their acceleration. We will calculate some accelerations of bodies. And then we will apply formulas of velocity and acceleration to real life motion problems. Okay. And then we will interrupt, discuss about positive, what are positive and negative accelerations. Positive accelerations are so called as the accelerations, and negative accelerations are also called as the deaccelerations. Understood?
Mm, yeah.
Okay, so let's start our first factor, which is velocity. As I mentioned you before, if a body is moving, so we say that they have some speed. If a body is in motion, they must have some speed, okay? But if a body is moving, a new factor is that they must traveling in some direction, okay? So if a
Mhm.
body is moving and specifically in some direction, so that is so called as the velocity. Understood?
Yeah.
So the main difference between speed and velocity is the only thing is that speed has the magnitude, means magnitude, velocity also have magnitude, but speed haven't any direction, but your velocity has some specific direction. Okay. So we
Mhm.
can define velocity. Basically, velocity is also a speed, but in a specific direction.
Mhm.
All set? Okay.
Mhm.
As velocity have a magnitude, and as I also told you that it has some specific direction, and you know that those quantities that have both magnitude as well as directions, those quantities are called as the
Vector quantities.
yes, vector quantities. So that's why we say that our velocity is a vector quantity because it has magnitude, it has some value, and it has also specified direction. So this is a vector
Mhm.
quantity. And the unit of velocity is measured in unit of meter per second. Okay.
Mhm.
Meter is the unit of distance, how far your body moves, and how much time it takes. So, by describing their distance in unit time, so we can say the unit of the velocity is meter per second. Okay, meter per second.
Mhm.
Example, we can say like if a body is moving with speed of 10 meter per second. Can you tell me the unit of velocity and speed should be same or different?
Uh, different or
Um,
same?
Same units. Why? Because as I
The
mentioned you before, like speed and velocities in both bodies acquire motions. Okay, so if body
Mhm.
acquire motion and if body is traveling in some time, so the unit is same meter per second. But the only difference is that in speed the direction is not specified, but in velocity there is a specified direction. So but
Mhm.
else unit remains same.
Yeah.
So here you can see an example like if a body is moving with a speed of 10 meter per second, and if you are describing about their velocity, so how you can describe like body is moving with with a velocity of 10 meter per second, but here is also direction is specified. What's the direction?
It's heading north.
Yes. The body is moving with 10 meter per second speed and it is a specified direction moving in north. So it becomes velocity. Everything clear?
Mhm.
Okay, wonderful. So now let's discuss the important formula of velocity. So as I mentioned you before, like what is velocity? Velocity is basically if a body is moving. Okay, so if a body is moving, they cover some distance, right?
Mhm.
They cover some distance. Also, they need some time to travel. So we can describe the formula of velocity is that velocity is denoted by small v, and small v is equals to d by t, where d is the distance covered by that body which is in motion, and small t is basically the time that your body takes from initial position to final position. So this is basically the formula for velocity. Distance divided by time. Distance that your body covers and the time which your body takes from initial position to final position. Okay, so here V is the velocity which is measured in meter per second, and whereas D, which I mentioned you before, it is the distance. So distance is measured in, what's the unit of distance?
Meters.
Yes, so distance, or you can say the displacement. So the unit of displacement or distance is meters. And what's the unit of time?
Seconds.
Seconds. So in numerator it's meter and in denominator it's seconds. So how you
Hmm.
can say it becomes meter per seconds. Okay,
Hmm.
this is how your units came for velocity, meter per second. Do you have any question related to velocity?
No.
Okay, now move on towards types of velocity. There are some types of velocity which we must have to know how. So the first one is the uniform velocity. So do you aware about what is uniform means?
Uh, what? Just the word uniform.
Yes, uniform
Just
basically.
means.
Yes.
Uh, Pretty sure it means that it's just set and not going any other direction, or just
Yes,
in
you're
one
right.
place.
So, yes, you're right. If a body is not moving in some other direction, means if a body is moving in same direction, you can say. Okay? Same direction, or you can say in a straight line, or you can say a body is moving with a constant speed and not changing their direction. So you can say this type of velocity is called as the uniform velocity. So how we can define the uniform velocity is that when an object moves with constant speed, there is no change in speed. Like if a car is moving with a speed of 60 km per hour, their speed remains constant at every point. Okay? Their
Hmm.
their speed would not be changed from above 60 or below 60. If your speed remains same, you can say constant. Constant means same. Okay, it remains same. Or if your body is moving in a straight line, or you can say on a straight road, then this type of velocities is so called as the uniform velocities. Okay, fine. Now the second type of velocity is the variable velocity. Variable means
Uh, that there's different types.
hmm, variable basically means the quantities that are changes continuously. They changes time to time. Okay, the
Right.
values of variable quantities are not fixed. They always changes. So variable velocity means if a body changes their direction continuously, not moving with same speed. So we can describe these type of velocities are called as the variable velocities. Understood?
Yeah.
Yes. So if a body is not changing their speed, if speed remains constant, this type of velocity is called,
Variable. Uniform.
yes, uniform. And if a body is moving and changes their direction continuously, this type of motion is called,
Variable velocity.
yes, variable velocity because the velocity is changes continuously. Now move on towards the third type of velocity, which is the instantaneous velocity. Basically, instantaneous velocity means the value of velocity at some fixed point, okay, at some specific instant. So if a body is moving either with the same speed or a different speed, and you have to measure the value of velocity at some specific point, like you know that there are speedometers installed at the end of the roads. Have you ever saw
Sorry, what was that?
speedometers?
Yeah.
Those are installed at the ends of the roads to measure the speed
Hmm.
of the car.
Yeah.
Basically, those speedometer works on instantaneous velocity. Your car is moving with a, let's suppose your car is moving with a speed of 70 kilometer per hour. Whenever your
Hmm.
car goes and moves with a speedometer, your speedometer will instantly detect their speed at some specific point. And at that point, your speed he calculate, let's suppose it's 70 kilometer per hour. Okay. So the
Hmm.
measurement of the value of velocity at some specific point, at some instant point. So we can say this type of velocity is called as the instantaneous velocity.
Hmm.
Understood?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the last one is the average velocity. I think you know that what is meant by average.
Yeah.
So what is that?
Um, the,
Average means
whatever shows up the most, whatever's the most frequent.
yes, the most frequent. Yes, you're right. Basically, you can describe the average velocity is basically the total velocity, the sum of all velocities. Okay, so how you can
Hmm.
describe the total velocity? Basically, you can describe the total velocity by calculating the total displacement covered by the body divided by the total time that your body takes. Means if your car is moving in some road with different velocities, so they cover some distance, so you have to sum up all the distance and you have to sum up all the time that your body takes. So whenever you find the total velocity, so basically this means you are finding the average velocity. So how you can describe the average velocity is that total displacement divided by total time. You already know what is the formula of velocity, which is the displacement divided by time. Displacement is the distance covered by the body, and time is the time taken by the body. So, if you are describing average velocity, so this displacement now becomes total displacement, and this time now becomes total time. So, average velocity is basically the total displacement divided by total time.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, do you clear all these four types of velocities?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you tell me if a body is moving in a same direction, this type of velocity is called?
Uniform velocity.
Yes. So if a body is moving in different directions, this type of velocity is called?
Variable velocity.
Yes. If you want to measure the velocity at some specific instant, this type of velocity is called?
Instantaneous velocity.
Yes, instantaneous velocity. And if you want to measure the total velocity, what is so called as?
Average velocity.
Yes, you're right, average velocity. Understood?
Hmm.
Okay, all right. Now just wrap up and this section. Let's move on towards the next topic. Next topic we will discuss about acceleration. Okay. Basically, acceleration describes how fast your bodies move. If your bodies are moving fast, you can say they are more accelerating. If your bodies are moving slow, you can say your bodies are low accelerating. So acceleration basically describes the speed of your body. Okay. And acceleration is also, you can say, is basically the change in velocity. Okay. So how you can define the acceleration is that acceleration is the change in velocity per unit time. Okay. If your velocity changes with respect to time, then you can say this is basically acceleration. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So what is basically acceleration? It's basically the change in velocity over time. It shows
Mm-hmm.
how quickly your object speed ups and how your object slow downs and how your direction changes. Okay. And can you tell me acceleration is a vector quantity or a scalar quantity?
Vector or
Uh, yeah, yes, acceleration is a vector quantity. Can you explain how?
scale.
Okay, now just wait a minute.